Hi, welcome back to this tutorial. So just to give you some context about this video, because it's kind of special, I recorded like 3 hours of me improving the game, right? And except I didn't record it, so I'm kind of stupid. But yeah, so what I did is I just discarded the commit on GitHub, and I'm going to do this again. Maybe I will go quickly because, like I said before, I don't like to do the same shit twice. And I'm sorry about this. If you need more explanation on something, or if you like me to make a video on a special topic, like over this one, please let me know in the comments. But I hope you enjoy it. Bye bye. So what I did first, I was kind of tired to not have a camera controller, right? So I just made a controller folder in our script and call this controllers. Let's create a folder and let's name this camera controller. And it's a real simple one, and we'll need to improve this later, but for now let's make something simple. So let's call this camera controller from mono behavior. Right, and in the camera controller we want multiplexing, but first of all we want to know how many pixels per unit we have, because we can just use a math formula to get almost perfect pixel perfect render. Right. We also obviously need a camera, but I think in Unity mono behavior have a camera controller by default because the old API. So let's check this actually. If I do this, yeah. The thing is, we don't need this to be public, so we can just do something like this. So we don't need this. Right. We also need something to represent our zoom. Alright, and maybe we want a min and a max. So let's maybe we want something like sensitivity for the mouse wheel. The zoom with the mouse wheel. Sensitivity, right? We also will need the mouse position, and this will be a vector tree. And we'll need the last frame position as well, like to know if we moved, right? You can call this last frame position, or yeah, something like this. What would be cool also is to have a view rect of the camera represented by a rect in the class we did, you know. So let's make right. This way we can just check if our objects are inside this view rect, right? We just render them, and if it's not the case, we don't bother rendering them. Yeah. And we also need a public float like I don't know. I'm going to call this zoom reel, or you can call this whatever you want. But basically, this is like I said, we want to use the pixel per unit to have a good level of zoom. So it's will return screen.8. There is a lot of tutorial on this on internet, so basically this is our wanted zoom, right? And we just need to multiply this by right, and yeah, this should be okay, I guess. So we have everything we need. Now we just need to so let's call this right, something is, and so let's make a function like void update mouse position. So we just well, actually we don't even need a method for this. You can just do this in the update, right? So let's do this dot mouse position, again, this dot camera, let's screen to our pointer input dot mouse position, and we are going to want a method like update camera, or yeah, right, update camera position and zoom update camera, right, and for now it's going to do nothing. Then we update our camera, and then we set the last mouse position. Well, actually we could do something like this, right? No, we can't. We need to do this after, right? Okay. So in update camera, what we'll have is if the mouse button, the middle mouse button, right, is pressed, right, we calculate the difference between last frame position and this mouse position, right, and we just translate camera. Yeah, by the difference, right? And here we want to update our view, right? But for now we don't have this, so yeah. Let's also recalculate the desired zoom here. So zoom desired equals this dot zoom desired multiply by input.getAxis, and we'll use the mouse wheel for this. Mouse scroll wheel multiply by the sensitivity, right? So if we increment the sensitivity, it's going to be fast, and then we need to clamp this between the min and max. Right, and we also need to check if the size has changed. So if that zoom, if this that zoom different than this dot camera orthographic size, and here we know the zoom has changed, right? And we just do this dot camera for orthographic size. This dot zoom. And here we also need to update our view rect, right? And here we could do something like the diff that is diff and the vector to be the right. That should work. So now we just need to update the view rect, and so let's make so this will update the camera position and camera position and camera zoom. This set the mouse position and update camera. Right, and we also need to do the date view rect, and we just do this dot view rect, again view rect I. So this is 2 vector to int, right? The min and the max of the rect. So the first one, and like I said, for the rest you have a lot of tutorial, but so this is our this one, right? Okay, and for the other one, it's just going to be the same thing, except we do plus here and we -1. I guess this should work. Yeah. And what I also did in the rect I class, right, is I just wait, yeah, I can do this, but we want to be able to serialize the rect I class because we want to be able to see it in the editor, right? So if I did not fuck this up, we should be able to control the camera in Unity now. So let's go in Unity, add a camera controller here. Maybe we need to yeah. Right when he says this is never assigned. So let's go in Sublime Text and make a start function in here. So for the camera, we can just do this dot camera is equal because Unity has if you have only if the camera is tagged with main, we can just do this, right? And for the max zoom and min zoom, I have just some value I know are good for this, so just use them. And this should be okay. So go back in Unity. Where is this shit? Okay. So now we have the camera controller here. And if we press play and everything is working, we should be able to some bugs. Well, let's check my battery test. Yeah, this should work. This should work. I'm not sure about this actually. Let's check Unity. Okay, so the first time is kind of fuck up, but it's working, and the mouse wheel is not working. I don't know why. So let's check this. When did I? Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's working now. So that's cool. Yeah. Just we can't see the view rect here, so I don't know why. This is a public, right? Yeah. And I did use system.serializable. Right, so this should be shown in the editor. Yeah. So now let's do some other stuff, improve the plants, add the trees, and add color palettes, shit like this. So right now we have this in Unity. I just changed the texture for the plants. But what I would like to do is, well, have plants not on water, for example, right? And less plants on the rocks, and have multiple color for the plant texture. So what we can do for that is, and this is kind of weird. Oh, I don't know why. Maybe it's just the color or my setup is fuck up. I don't know. But we'll see that later. So yeah, let's do this. So we want something like a color palette definition that we can load later from JSON or XML. So let's do this. And I think in the end we will have two types of color palette, but for now let's just do a simple one. And we'll say we have maximum 15 colors for each palette, and we'll do a get random function, simple one, which is going to return random the range 0 count, and yeah, we don't have this. Okay, using system. And maybe we also want a name for each color. No, this should be okay for now. So let's do this. And I already made some color palettes, but I will show you how we do that. So let's do a new list here, a new dictionary. And let's go string, def. Right. let's add a function called right. And let's do I need to split this file, right? And let's add some colors. Let's initialize the dictionary. Right. So let's add one for the leaves, one for well, just this is just to test, right? And one for the wood. Yeah, let's call this wood. Maybe we want a prefix for this. No. Yeah. Yeah, sure. And I already set up some colors, so you can just use the colors you want, right? But I'm not going to type this again. Yeah. So that's our colors. That's 3 greens. That's 3 orange. And that's 2 browns. And right. We also need to change the graphic instance a little bit. So let's do. So maybe we want to add our priority here. So let's add the float here. Our priority. And what we do if we'll set a default to -42. Right. Something like this. Alright, so we need to add this here too. And let's add it here. well, let's initialize the same shit. So let's do something like, well, actually, yeah. We don't need to retest this, but for now, this should be okay. And yeah, actually we can just do some this. So now we can override the draw priority. We just need to handle this in our renderer. I think we could do is we did the camera controller, and inside the camera controller we have a view rect. So we could use this. Check. We could use this in region 1, right? But let's check region actually. Yeah. Yeah, let's check region for now. So we could just add. So let's first let's put this in a function called draw tailable. And let's make a public pool is visible for each region, right? And this will auto. Oh, we need a reference to the camera. So what we can do for now, that's already false, right? I need a static class to basically who will contain every one of our object, a static reference to each object, right? And in my project, I generally call this Loki because I'm a Marvel fanboy. So yeah, let's do that. But you can call this whatever you want. You can call this Finder or I don't know. Yeah. And what we'll do is in Game Manager we have this where we load all the statics, right? We can just do this in a Loki. Something like this, and let's not forget to load the colors as well. Right, so let's save this in. I think I will save this in the root script directory and call this loki.cs. And this is low palettes from code. And palette, how do you say palette in English? Palette or palette? Let's check Google. Okay, the trial is okay. That's what I. So let's check if this is still working in Unity because I had something weird in my. Oh. Forgot this. And for now, this should work. And okay. So let's go back in here. So in Loki, we do this, and let's make a static void game where we get the game manager reference. And for this, we can just do and we can also set the camera controller here. Right, and in Loki we can just do the same here. So in Game Manager right now, let's do Loki.logStatic, right? And Loki.newGame is, and we can also do this, and we set the map. Let's make a function for this and for this as well. Right, so in map, let's do okay. So let's add some function here. Build, force, rebuild, build all meshes in all regions. And let's just copy what we had here. Right, and let's do all regions. Oh, no operation. So in Game Manager, let's go this regions, and here 0.9 regions meshes. Right. We can do some function for this actually. Oh, I did my function draw noise map, so let's add that then. That was in a previous episode, right? So some new stuff I just added. So yeah, so we are making a new map. So yeah, I made Loki because we needed a reference in a region for camera controller. So let's go back in map region, and we were doing the isVisible function, right? So here, instead of just returning false, let's return. So we have a region rect, right? So priming.x. And we need the region size, right? Let's copy this. Set it to max. Yeah, so this should return if the region right. Actually, I could do a function for this in my React. Yeah, but we need the region size. And now in map, in our function draw regions here, right? We can just do if region that is visible, right? And what I should do is right. See here, we only draw these two regions. If we choose, oh sorry, I'm not in Unity. So what we only draw those two regions because you can see the camera rect here in white, right? So that's the only two regions that are in the rectangle. But if we do something like this, right? Now we draw all the regions that are in the, but we don't draw these regions, right? And if we move like this, now we draw all the region in the rectangle. And that's kind of nice, right? Because now we don't draw stuff we don't want to. And it's the same, because we also draw the tileables in our region draw, we don't draw the grass outside of this, right? So this is only drawn when, yeah, and here we should draw only, oops, sorry. Shit is, but right. We do something like this, right? We should only draw one region, right? And we can make smaller regions or regions that are equals to the map view rect size to simplify the maths behind it, but I quite like it like this. So, yeah. And as you can see, we saved a lot by batching because of our draw instances mesh. So let's go back in Unity and make the stuff for the in the editor, and let's go make the stuff for the plants. So what I will do for the plants right now, we want, yeah, so we need to add a layer for the trees, I think, but yeah, we don't need to, but I want to, and we'll do in definitions, because for now it's just the plants are completely random right now. So what we want to do is add in a plant def, we want to add public float probability, for example. Yeah. And let's set the public float mean fertility. And let's add for our table. And I'm going to do this like this because imagine we have a ground with a fertility of 2, for example, dirt, of 1. And on top of the ground we have a floor, wooden floor, who has a fertility of 0, right? Well, what I just do is for each tile I will multiply the fertility of all the tileable, and if one is 0, it's 0, but if one is 0.5 and the other 0.6, we just multiply the value. So to do this, I need to have in tile, I need to go in tile and make the function for this. Yeah. I was thinking if I can do this another way, but yeah, it'll be fine for now. So let's do in tile. Let's do public fertility get and let's initialize this to 0, right? And let's do just for each tileable in here tileable is this.get all tileables. If tileable.def.fertility equals 0, right? And here if it's 0, we just return 0, right? But if it's not, we do fertility and we multiply this, right? And we can initialize this to 0 actually. I'm stupid. And we return fertility. Right. Maybe we want some cache for this, but for now this will be fine. And we can do some similar stuff for the pathfinding cost, for example. So now we have a fertility for each tile, depending on the tileable inside, and get all tileable is just the numeric. We don't have a get all tileables. Yeah, because like I said, it's stuff twice. So we just need to make the function get all tileables. Quite simple. Oh yeah, we have one. Okay, it's here. Yeah. And now what we can do, instead of generating random plants, right? Where is that? Temporary function here. Instead of doing this, we can do real stuff. So we can do something like yeah, let's, because we don't have cache, so I don't want to get and we are just going to for each on the table definition in def.plants.values, right? For each plant for each definition, and let's just do tile fertility is superior or equal tileable def.plantDef mean fertility, right? And let's random.value equal to tileable def.plantDef probability, right? So if it's fertile enough and if the probability is good, let's do tile.addTileable new plant tile.position tileable def, right? And we'll say for now, even if we have 2 layers, one for the tree, one for the grass, we want only 1 plant per tile, so we just break after this. So if we check now in Unity, right, we should have no plants on the water, for example. My Unity is broken, I think. Well, we have, like I said, no plants on the water. No plants at all. Yeah, we need to set the, in definition, we need to set the, where is my definition? Load plant form code here, yeah, we need to set the plant def, right? And for the grass, let me think. Let's put some random stuff in now, right? So probability 0.5 and mean fertility. It's not that relevant because in our ground, right? and we'll set the fertility to the door to 1 and the rest to 0. That's the default, right? So it will check back in Unity now. This should work, I guess. Yeah. So now let's add some colors and trees and stuff like this. So I was thinking about this, and for example, for the trees, right? We have a base and we have the leaves, right? So what that means is we need multiple graphic instances per tileable. So to do this, I just rename graphics to main graphic and add a dictionary with a string and a graphic instance called additional graphics. Here, right? So yeah, and now in plant main graphics. Instead of setting up color.green, let's make a private private color with color, right? And set this to this leaf color color palettes. I don't remember the name for this, but yeah. And let's get random for now, right? And so let's use this color, right? Now if we check this in, yeah, so now we have some plants. Why is this so weird? Something fuck up with this texture, but I don't know. Why is this set to point? This to not color. Size. Yeah, okay, that's better. Yeah, now we have multiple colors. And let's add the trees, right? So we have our plant here, right? This is only for grass, right? So yeah, actually maybe we don't need a different layer of the plants, or what we... Yeah, I don't think we need a different layer, but what would be cool is to have something like a new class called a new enum called tileable type, right? And we'll have undefined, and for now we'll have grass, tree, plant for everything else that's not grass or tree, right? So let's save this tileable type.cs, and in dev on tileable, let's just add okay, and for the grass, right, let's add right, this way we can do in plants, we can do. So if we are grass, let's do this, right? Else if and else. So if we are not a tree and if we are not a grass, we just presume it's we don't override anything, right? So we just pass def graphics. But for the tree, what we want to do is so we also want to set leaf colors, right? And we also want to do wood colors. I don't remember the name for. And for now, let's just use by default 0. And so the main graphic is going to be the tree base. So we want this to be color of wood. Oh yeah, it's red color. Yeah. And we also want to add graphics.add leaves and the graphic instance .get new. No. So graphic instance.get new. So yeah. So here we are going to so we call this for the wood color, right? And also we want to pass the texture. We want to override the texture, right? So because we have multiple texture, like I said, so we will use the definition texture name. So this is .def.graph main graphics. .texture name plus base, right? And here is we are going to do the exact def.graphics, right? This .if colors, and instead of base, we are going to do this. So that should work, I guess. Well, except we don't draw the additional graphics, so what we need to do is in map region, when we build our matrices, right? If so this position, right? So if available dot add graphics dot count different 0, for which so exactly the same thing as here, except here it's a graphic instance dot UID. We want to add a new list to our matrix array with the graphic instance dot UID. And it's the same matrix, right? So this should work. Now we just need to add a tree to test this in our here, right? So yeah, let's add the tree. Let's copy this actually. Change the name. And let's test tree. And this change nothing, but for now let's do this. So in here I just change table paragraphic from here, right? And in plant, let's do let's initialize the dictionary, right? Yeah, we have some trees, but everything is fucked up and the size is not correct, right? Because we don't handle the size, but it's kind of working, right? We just need to draw the bush in front of this and have the correct size for the tree. So let's do this. So what we can do for this is we have a draw priority now in our graphic instance, but we do nothing with it. So first of all, yeah, let's make a layer utility class to get the height of each layer. The altitude if you want. And we just return the integer value of the layer, multiplied by -1f because we are on top, right? And what we can do with this, and in a graphic instance we also, so for example, if our ground layer is at 1 or grass -1, sorry, this will be at -2, right, for z. And for the draw priority, we want something between. So for the draw priority for the grass, we want something between -2 and -3, right? So to do this in graphic instance, instead of just doing setting the priority like this, what we'll do is, so in graphics def, size equal new vector2, and it's 2,3 because we have 128 pixels per unit, and let's set the pivot to center by 8 because I draw the stuff like this. And now if we check in Unity, this should be better, right? Yeah, kind of, except everything is fucked up, but at least the trees are on the good size, right? So why is this fucked up? Well, randomly fucked up, I should add. And why? Sorry, I have something. Yeah, we don't use the pivot, so that's the first thing. So let's use the pivot when we calculate the matrix of the object. So it's in tailable, get matrix. Right, let's just so this should center the tree for one thing. So yeah, I made a big map, so it's quite slow, but yeah, so now the tree right are in the good so yeah, we have a kind of a bug right now, but I think I have a solution. We need this to be a dictionary of int matrix 4, right? Because we want to cache some stuff, because now we can have multiple matrix for tailable. So instead of this, let's do if this dot matrix. Well, first let's do if this dot matrix equal null. Yeah, and then if this graphic UID equal null. Okay, and let's copy this. And instead of doing, so that's just management. No. So, yes, this should work. Or not. So I just replace this by content k, right? Okay, and now it's working fast. So let's put back the grass and stuff. And, so get the color instead of red. Put back the grass. And also, oh yeah, the priority seems good right now. So what I do? Okay, -1, right? I need to add to this the z index, right? Oh. Let's do this for now. Let's remove path priority here, right, and just use the graphic UID priority. And put this on a different. So this is going to work, I think, except we will have a bug. I don't know why. Why is this working? Yeah, it's not. Well, there is multiple solutions to this place. easiest one is to just change the order we draw stuff in. I did this earlier actually, but instead of drawing like this, we just draw like this, and this should fix because they have on the same. Just using the order, I guess. So now you see this is behind. And this is okay, I guess. Some one graphic bugs. We'll think about this later and make something cleaner. This is weird, right? Yeah. No. We'll think about this later. For now, it's going to be like this. Later, we'll think about a system to handle this better. But I'm kind of tired and I want to advance, so this should be okay now. Yeah. So let's remove the debug for now. Yeah. Also, I'm going to smooth the ground, right? But I already did a tutorial about this. So I will just paste my code from the tutorial, and feel free to check the tutorial. It's a 2-hour tutorial. So where is my stuff? Well, it should be in visuals, right? And yeah. And so you have the link to the tutorial in top of the code. I will just not do this again. So let's save this in visual and let's call this region round. It's yes, right? So this is not graphics. It's called main graphics. Oh yeah. So this I will make because it's not in the tutorial. So okay. So we need something to know the neighbors of our tiles. So in helpers we are going to do something called direction.cs, right? Apparently I already have the file like this. No, I don't. Okay. Fireworks, assets, file, scripts, helpers, direction.cs, right? And I will use the namespace file.helpers and just make a name of direction with the 8 directions, so south, southwest, west, northwest, north, northwest, east, southeast. Yeah. And I will also have a static class called direction utils with a public static vector2 int called neighbors, right? And we have 8 neighbors, so yeah. And the function to set the neighbors. So let's do 0, 0 for now. So we have 8. Okay, so the first one is south. So -1, right? So now it's southwest. -1, -1. Then we have west. Then we have northwest. West NB. What is NB? It's northwest. So 0, 1. Then northeast. Then east. Then southeast. This should be okay. And in Loki, let's not forget to load the direction it is that set neighbors. Set neighbors. Right. This way, in our region ground, when I have the tutorial over there, just for check the neighbor, we can do this.region.map position plus directory the neighbor where the E is between 0 and 7, right? Well, check this tutorial if you want to know about this. And now we can priority 8 here. That's priority, and what we want to do in our region renderer, instead of using the region renderer for the ground, we want to use the region ground renderer, right? And this should work, I think. I'm not sure actually. Yeah, cool, it's working. So now we smooth the floor, right? We smooth the transition between the different types, and that's kind of cool. I don't know why my FPS is so low. I haven't done much batches or triangles. I think it's just my computer. So yeah, this is kind of cool. We have too much water on this map. I want less water, and yeah, so let's do this quickly. Map. Where do we generate another? So let's take some, and to less water. Just go in depths and set the water to 30 instead of 35. This should make smoother forms with less water, because we change the zoom and yeah, that's nice. Right. So now the next step is to do the mountains maybe, or to make the vegetation grow. Do this, we could. There is two solutions. We could use multiple textures for each grass. For example, I could have grass 0 like this, 2 and 3, right? Or we can just change the size of the mesh. Or the scale in the matrix actually. Yeah, because for example, I will just use it an example, but for now our matrix scales to... Where is my table? Our matrix are scaled to vector 3.1, but if we divide this by 2, for example, everything will be smaller. Even the ground, so it's going to be ugly, but no, not the ground, because it's not in the matrix. Yeah. So yeah, see, it's smaller, right? So we can do basically whatever we want for this, and that's nice, right? Yeah. So we'll see that later, but for now, yeah, I'm sorry for this confusing episode, but I recorded 2 times and I hate doing the same stuff twice, so yeah.